get that new beginning when awake again.
We are now recording, Oyen. I clicked the button. I didn't realize I was a co-host.
Okay, guys, sorry, I'm going to put my camera back on just so you can see my face. Right, so yeah, we're now recording. I thought I pressed record before I started, but obviously not. But it's all good. It's all good. So what's an empowerment day? So when we were putting together this program, what was really important to us, well, Coding Black Females and Neo Enterprise, was that you don't just kind of get just a tech experience, but you also get inspiration and motivation from other people that have walked the path, and also other people that are actually successful in their tech careers. So it can be quite a lot, to sit down for 3 hours a day, for 6 hours a week, just coding, and even more when you're practicing outside, and you're not getting that inspiration, and it can be quite hard in the journey. So we wanted to put these empowerment days together just so that we can inspire and motivate you, just so that you can keep going. So it's perfect for a Friday, because you may have coded on Monday and Wednesday and you're thinking, I think I'm going to quit after Wednesday. But then when Friday comes, and Friday's like, no, you can't quit because you've just been motivated. So that is the point of an empowerment day. And the way we've kind of built the topic so far is that it kind of is quite generic. So today, for example, we're talking about Vision 2023, where you get to kind of go through your tech journey and your ideal tech journey in the next 3 years. Next session, we have someone coming in to talk about life as a front-end developer. Then we've got cybersecurity 101 after that. And we've also got an entrepreneur, a tech entrepreneur, who's running a company called furnishful.com, coming to also speak. We also have some exciting things coming up with Google Digital Garage as well, where you would actually learn about different things. So keep an eye out. If you want to sign up for the empowerment days, for future ones, you can sign up at blackcodher.eventbrite.com. Some of the information is not fully written up yet. However, you can still sign up to secure your space. They are limited spaces. So if you want to share with your friends, make sure that they sign up, in advance, so that, because once it gets to full capacity, that's it. So yeah, that's kind of everything about the empowerment days. Today we've got the amazing Daniella Genas coming as well to speak to us about Vision 2023, where she basically takes you across, takes you through your journey from now to 2023 of your ideal tech career, how you want, how you think you're going, where you think you're going to be, and how do you think you're going to be progressing. So whilst we're waiting for Daniella, we're just going to play some music. She's going to arrive in the next 2 minutes.
This don't work for me no more. Yeah, you're still in my dreams, babe. In love with what I can't obtain. Besides the butterflies, I don't know what remains. Can the story ever change? I guess no matter what I sing, you won't feel the same. Oh, will ya? You're still in my dreams, baby.
Sorry guys, Daniella is having some technical difficulties. Her laptop has just decided to freeze, so she'll be here soon. Everyone just wave to Daniela, say hello, to make her feel welcome.
Thank you.
Daniela.
Thank you for your patience.
No worries, no worries, no worries. You look amazing. It's good to have you. You're looking dashing as usual. Yeah, I just want to introduce Daniela, but I feel like I wouldn't do her justice, even though I've known her for like 2 years now. Charlene has known Daniela for over 20 years, apparently. Yeah, Daniela is the reason why we are here today. Daniela was the one that thought, oh, Ian, why don't you invite Coding Black Females to be on here 2020? Why don't you guys work together? And I think we just want to honor you, Daniela, for being the catalyst of this. So it's just right for you to have the first Empowerment Day. But it's not just that, you know, we know that you are going to add some amazing value today to the ladies on here. So aside from that, Daniela is Neo Enterprises business coach. She's also a strategy and innovation expert. She has a lot of awards under her bag, but I'm not going to list all of them because I'm sure she will. So Daniela, without further ado, let me hand it over to you.
Awesome. Can I share screen?
Yeah.
Oh, I've already done it. Did I do it? No, I didn't do it. Okay, 1 minute. So thank you so much for having me. My computer has been on a bit of a go slow today, so hopefully it will cooperate. Can everyone see? Can you see my screen? Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear me fine?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So thank you so much for having me. This is the Vision 20 session delivered by me, Daniela. And today's session is going to be really about helping you to define and to, I suppose, have a clear understanding of how to develop a compelling vision for your career and for your life, really. So in terms of the agenda, just to give a roundup of what I'm going to talk about, a little bit about me. So who am I? Why am I here talking to you? Although, Oyen, thank you for that fantastic introduction. But I'm going to give you a little bit more. Let me know if it's a bit loud because I've got a fan in my face, which is why my hair is blowing all over the place. If it interrupts, just let me know. So the benefits of a compelling vision. I'm going to cover also how to build your vision. So I'm going to explain why you should, but then also how to do it. And then also I want to talk a little bit about what to do when it doesn't go to plan, because just because you create a vision doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to go in the way that you want it to, as much as we would like to hope that it would. And then if it's okay, then I'll take some questions at the end. So who am I? I'm Daniella Genas. I'm the founder of She's the Boss. So I provide consultancy, coaching, training, and accountability support to aspiring and ambitious female entrepreneurs. I'm also a senior business advisor for Enterprise Europe Network, working with small to medium-sized enterprises across the East and West Midlands on innovation and strategy. I'm also a mother to a 5-year-old. So if at any point you see me looking to the side or you see a little afro behind me, it's because my 5-year-old is probably going to burst in at some point throughout the evening. I am an alumni of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. I have a MBA and a master's, and I'm just out here trying to change the lives of women one day at a time. I also, if you don't know, I'm the host of She's the Boss Female Entrepreneur Stories on YouTube, which I would recommend everybody to go and watch. I share interviews with amazing women in business. I've interviewed Oyen. I'm hopefully going to interview Charlene at some point soon. So please do check that out. So let's just jump right in. What are the career benefits of having a compelling vision? There are so many. And I think one of the reasons why I've really gone down this route of pushing the importance of vision, because this is something I offer as a service as well as talk about in speaking engagements, etc., is because I think that not enough people recognize how important having a clear and compelling vision is for success, whether that be in business, whether that be in career, whether that be in life. If you leave out of your house to get to a destination, you normally, if you're going to use a sat nav, you'll put the postcode in the address, right? You put the postcode into the sat nav to help you get to the destination. And you'll work out what is the best, whether that be the quickest, the most cost efficient for petrol route to get to that destination. what a lot of people do in life is they don't put that postcode into the sat nav because they don't know where they're going. And on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis, we're kind of just flailing through life with no clear direction. And normally the direction is, I just want success, but people don't define what that success is or what that success looks like. And because of that, they're not aiming to get anywhere. Now, when you have a clear and compelling vision for your life, for your career, it gives you a clear destination to work towards. If you know the destination and you've defined that destination, then it obviously makes sense that it's going to be easier to reach that specific destination, as opposed to, I want to be a success, I want to live a nice life. We all want to be living a nice life, we all want success, but what does that actually look like? By having a vision that is defined, you're able to have that direction and that end goal in mind, which then enables you to make strategic choices for your life. If you know where you're trying to get to, you're then able to start looking at what are the strategies that I need to employ to get there, which means it's more likely that you're going to achieve that level of success or whatever it is that you're trying to reach for. And it also enables you to have faster progression. If you know where you're going and you map out how you're supposed to get there, then you're going to move much more quickly through life, which then also means you're able to identify opportunities. If you're very clear on where you're going, and I think this is something that a lot of people do because we're so eager for success or to progress in certain areas, we will say yes to opportunities that may not actually serve us. By having a clear vision, when opportunities are presented to you, you're then able to say, yes, I want to go down this route, or no, I do not, because it doesn't align with my vision. So it enables you to be more discerning with the steps that you take and with the opportunities that you allow. And it can also be really motivational. If you have a clear understanding of where you're trying to get to with your career, with your life, if you're really able to embody that and really feel what that is going to be like when you reach there, then what you're able to do is motivate yourself on those days where maybe you don't feel like getting up and going to work, when you're feeling like things are not going the way that you want them to, where you may feel like it's time to give up. You go back to that vision, you really meditate on that vision, and it motivates you to keep pushing towards that vision. If you're not following me on Instagram, please give me a follow, She's the Boss UK, and you'll see that my motto is think big, take action, keep pushing. And with this kind of vision process that I'm going to walk you through, that mantra is really steeped in this process. So think big, it's about creating a big vision for your life. So not there's no point coming up with a vision that's not stretching you and not stretching your abilities. So take action, and I'm going to explain this in a little bit more detail in a moment. But also, there's no point coming up with a vision if you're not taking action to actualize it. But keep pushing is also important, because in order to bring your vision to reality, you need to stay motivated and keep working towards it, even when obstacles may come your way. And a lot of people think that coming up with a vision is just sitting there and thinking, what do I want to do in life? And actually that's part of it, but there's so much more to it. And I say it's a building process. It's not just, let's just come up with anything. And Oyen will know I'm quite critical at times of vision boards. And I'm always bashing the vision boards and saying I don't really see the point of them. I do see the point of vision boards. I'm trying to change my messaging at the moment because I realize it sounds quite negative. But I feel like vision boards alone don't help you to build a vision. They help to give you ideas, but without the rest of the steps in the process being followed, it's just a load of pretty pictures on a wall. And actually, if any of you do have a load of pretty pictures on the wall, don't be offended. I'm now going to tell you how to make use of those pretty pictures on the wall so that you're actually creating something and building something that is achievable, as opposed to something that's simply aspirational, but not really relevant on your day-to-day journey. And I realize I'm speaking really, really quickly. So if I continue that speed, Oyen, tell me to slow down. So what is the process? So Oyen has been through this process. I've done this with a load of clients. I'm going to do it slightly different with you guys today, but this is something that I've developed myself, and it's a proven strategy. It's worked with both my clients, with my life, with friends that I've done it with for their careers, and it works. So it's a 5-step process. And I think before I even go into the 5-step process, another clear thing that I want you to all be thinking about is, what do you think your purpose is? Because I think one of the kind of precursors to following the 5-step process is really being clear on what your purpose is in life, in your career. And the two don't have to be exactly the same. So the purpose that you define for yourself doesn't necessarily have to be, I don't know, you could say that your purpose is to share God's word, for example. That doesn't necessarily have to be the career choice that you take, but I think it's really important that you're clear on what your purpose is before you start, or whilst you're doing the vision process, because one can impact the other. And as I go through this process, you kind of understand a little bit more why that is important. So step one, which is going to seem a bit strange in the vision process, is to create the vision. That's only one step within the overall Vision 20 process. It's actually the creation of the vision. And as I said, I implore you to really stretch yourself when thinking about what that vision is for your life. So whatever it is, somebody told me, I did an interview with a lady once, and she said, think about kind of what it is that you want. I think she said triple it, and then triple it again. And that's what you should be aiming for. I like to use the phrase, if you aim for I always get it wrong. If you aim for the moon, you may reach the stars. And I think that that's a really important way of thinking it. If you start to think small when you're creating the vision, then you're not going to achieve anything big. If you really stretch your imagination and think what would be the most amazing outcome, if you aim for that, even if you don't reach that, then you're going to reach further than you would if you were thinking quite small. So whatever it is that you're thinking that you're trying to aim towards, double it, triple it, and go for that. And it's really important as well when you're creating the vision to not do it in isolation. So if you have a husband, these are women, I was going to say a partner, husband, boyfriend, long-term partner, children, incorporate them into creation of this vision, because they're all going to be impacted by it. So when I do my Vision 20, which I try to update it each year, I do it with my husband, because what I'm striving for impacts him, and he needs to do his at the same time, so that our visions are aligned. Because you don't want to be going off on a tangent saying over here and he is going over there, or your kids are going in another direction. Your visions have to be aligned. So I definitely say don't do it in isolation. And also, if you may not have a partner, you may not have kids, if not, do it with a trusted family member or friend, and not everybody. So I'm very vocal in the fact that sometimes everybody who claims to be for you is not for you. So don't do it with anybody that's going to tell you that you're thinking too big. Don't do it with anyone that's going to try and minimize your dreams, because obviously that's not beneficial to the process. So make sure that you pick someone that is trustworthy and that you know has your best interests at heart. But also not just somebody that has your best interests at heart, because sometimes they can put you off as well, because they're scared if you're really aiming too high that maybe you're going to be disappointed. So you have to really pick who you do this with carefully. So once you've kind of mapped out the vision, I'm going to tell you how to do that in a moment. You then need to set the goals, and your goals need to be SMART. So they need to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time sensitive. So in terms of the kind of vision that you create, and I'm just going to double back a bit, I tend to do 3-year vision processes. So I call it Vision 20 because depending on what year I do it, the number after 20 is going to be 3 years from that point. So at the moment, I'm doing Vision 2023 with clients, but obviously next year it'll be Vision 2024. So set your time frame. But you should also not just do one vision. So I like to start at 3 years because I think 1 year is too soon and 5 years is quite long. But after you do 3 years, you may also want to look at doing a 5-year vision and a 10-year vision. So making sure that you identify the time frame that you're doing and create your vision around those time frames. And then you set the goals. So if you're doing a 3-year vision, I would say set the goals for year 1, year 2, and year 3, and make sure that they're really SMART goals. So if your goal for 2021, for example, is to, I don't know, get a dream tech job in a specific company, that's your goal. But put a deadline. So what's the date and what is the actual process? So map it out properly and be very clear on what that goal is. And the goal has to obviously be in line with the vision. the long-term vision, sorry. And then you need to define the strategies. So you know what the goals are that you're aiming for, you know what the vision, so you know what the future is that you're working towards. What are the strategies that you need to employ to get there? So when I say strategies, for example, if the goal is to, I don't know, work with Microsoft or get an internship at Microsoft by the end of December 2021, then the strategies could look like build partnerships with people that work there, like network with people that work at Microsoft, or within a tech space, working with the Black Codher program. Like, what are the strategies that you're going to employ to be able to bring those goals to life? Because again, there's no point having goals if you're not working out how you're going to achieve those goals. Once you've defined the strategies, then you need to create the action plans. So what are the specific actions that you need to complete to be able to bring the goals to reality? So in the same example, if one of the things that you need to do in terms of a strategy is around building up your network and your relationships, within your action plan under the goal of getting this internship at Microsoft, it could be update your LinkedIn profile. It could be get a professional photo shoot so that your profile picture looks really good on LinkedIn. It could be update your CV. So all of the specific tasks that you need to complete in order to be able to achieve that goal. And even if the goal is not achieved, because it's not guaranteed, nothing is guaranteed, right? You need to make sure that you know what all the actions that you need to take to be able to help you try to achieve that goal. And then the final part in the process is setting the deadlines. So you've got your action plan, you know the tasks that you need to do, but that can seem quite overwhelming. We've broken it down into chunks, but even so, if you're just working through those things with no specific deadline, things can get left by the wayside, and certain things may not get actioned for a long time because your life can get in the way. And sometimes that is one of the reasons why people don't end up achieving the goals, is because they don't set deadlines. They know what they need to do, they know the strategies of how they need to do it, but life, they get caught up in life, and I am guilty of this also. Sometimes you get caught up in life and things don't get done. So I always recommend making sure that you set deadlines for each of those actions. So you've got your SMART goals, but you also need kind of SMART deadlines for your actions, to make sure that, okay, by whatever date, by the 23rd of September, you would update your LinkedIn profile. By the 12th of December, you would have sent an email to at least 2 people that work within Microsoft. And by having those deadlines set, it gives you something to create an action plan, a to-do list, sorry, every week. So I'm really anal, and if anybody on here knows me, I'm super anal with to-do lists. So I have a to-do list for the month, I'll have a to-do list for the week, then I have a to-do list for the day. And I break down my day to-do list into kind of time blocks. I don't do this every single day, so I'm not a complete loser, but I do it most of the time, and particularly when I'm going for like a big goal. And sometimes I can get overwhelmed with the amount of work that I need to do, so I will time block and break down my day in chunks. Now, if you've set deadlines and you've got your goals and you've got your action plans and strategies, when you're creating your to-do list, which really you should do at least, I would say, on a weekly basis, you don't have to do it as detailed as me, but at least once a week, you should sit down and map out what you want to do for that week. You've now got somewhere you can go every week to take out tasks that you can work towards. So if you set the deadline that the 23rd of September, you need to update your LinkedIn profile, then you know the week before that, when you're setting out your tasks for the week, that needs to be in your tasks for the week. And if you follow that process, you can see how you then start to move things forward. And the vision that seemed so huge is now quite achievable because you're focusing on doing one task at a time. You're focusing on the end dates to make sure that you're working through them. And hopefully what you should also be doing is holding yourself accountable. And that is really the most important part in this process. So I always suggest when you do your vision and set your goals and do your action plans and all of that, don't keep it on a computer or in a notebook, because you're not going to look at it again. And it's actually, I find it really frustrating. I'll do these big vision processes with clients, and this is before, well, it's not happened lately, but this used to happen a lot. I'd have the session with them. I'd go back a couple of months later and I'll say, well, when was the last time you looked at your vision? Because everything's gone up in the air and I'm all confused. And they'll be like, oh, I haven't looked at it for a while. It's on my computer. It doesn't help you on the computer. It doesn't help you in a closed notebook. So I always recommend, and this is where the visual vision board bit comes in handy, print it out. And if you've got a pictorial vision board, put the written vision, put your goals and put your action plans on the wall beside it. So I always tell my clients, print out your vision and your goals and put them on either the kitchen wall or on the fridge, somewhere in the kitchen or in the bathroom. You go to the bathroom more than once a day, I hope. I'm sure. I don't want to know your business, but I assume everybody goes to the toilet or to the bathroom more than once per day. I typically, when I print out my action plans, I put it on my shower glass, because when I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm having a shower, when I'm doing my hair, if I'm putting makeup on, I'm looking at it. I can see it. And when you can see something, it holds yourself accountable. So I remember specifically a time where I got through a lot of work and I did a 3-month kind of action plan, stuck it on my glass of my shower. And every time I'd completed something, I'd go and tick it off. And I did that for a while. And then I kind of got bored at some point with doing that. And my husband walked past one day. He said, these tasks for last month haven't been ticked off. What's happening here? And I was like, oh, okay, so you're paying attention. I've been caught out. I need to go and make sure that this stuff has been done. So if you live with anyone, that could be a really useful way, but also just self-accountability. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh gosh, the month has passed and these 2 tasks are outstanding. If it's stuck on your computer somewhere or in a notebook, you're not looking at it. And again, the same thing as I said before with motivation. If you're not seeing something and you're feeling down, what is there to motivate you? Because you're probably not going to go into your computer to look and say, oh, I need some motivation today. And you might, but I don't think everybody does do that. If it's visibly printed somewhere, and I said the bathroom, because you're in there a lot, brushing teeth, whatever, but also if you're anything like me and you love food, put it on the fridge. Every time you go to the fridge, you're going to read that and it's going to uplift you and it's going to motivate you and it's going to boost you to want to say, okay, once I'm finished eating this, whatever it is I've gone in the fridge for, I need to go and get back to work. And it's just a really useful way of keeping yourself motivated. And as I said, if you live with anybody, I just think it's a really useful way of them holding you accountable as well. And also you can use online tools. So I'm a huge fan of Trello. So I typically transfer my action plans into Trello. Trello is free. You can access it on your laptop, on your tablet, on your phone. And it kind of acts as an online to-do list, but you can put pretty much everything on there. You can have reminders, so it can remind you to tell you that actually this task is supposed to be completed tomorrow or today or whatever. And I find that really useful. There's also one of my other clients uses, I think it's Mondays. I have a few clients that use Mondays. But whatever method you use, some people literally just create an Excel spreadsheet, put the dates down the side and put the actions across. Or some people with their action plans just put an end date, print the action plan and put that on the wall. So I mentioned before you need to create the vision, and I said I was going to tell you how to do that. And I want you to humor me for a moment. If you don't have a pen and paper, because I realized I didn't say ahead of the time that you should. If you don't, can you take a moment to grab one, or grab a phone, or open up, if you're on the computer, open up a screen, a Word document or notepad or something. Because I want to, Oyen, was you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I'd already prepared them that they need a pen and paper.
Oh, good. Although
Yeah.
I just saw somebody dash off the screen to go and get one, so. Okay, so I'm going to give you just like the light version of this, but I want to just kind of get your brains thinking and kind of guide you through a couple of the questions that you should be asking yourself to enable you to really dig deep into what your vision is going to look like. And I think, the way I typically do this is I get people to answer these questions. And normally, and obviously I can't do that in a group setting, but I normally will dig deeper. And then I ask everybody to close their eyes whilst I read it back. I'm not going to do that, obviously. But what you might want to do is once we finish this, and I've asked you these questions at a later point, you might want to go back and expand upon it a little bit more, and then ask somebody else to read it to you whilst you close your eyes. And it sounds really hairy-fairy, and I'm sure some of you are rolling your eyes and I can't see, and that's fine. But I promise you it works. When you close your eyes and you listen to it being read to you, you can immerse yourself in what that vision looks like. And I want you to immerse yourself, which is why I think it's going to be really useful if you can get somebody else to read it back with your eyes closed. Because if you can see it, it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. If you can see it, you can believe it. And if you can believe it, then you can do it. And just before I go into this, I want to give you an example of how this has worked out in my life. And it's going to sound crazy. And I've started to share this a little bit more now because I used to be scared to share it with people because I thought they'd think I'm crazy. But now I don't care if people think I'm crazy. So I'm just going to share it anyway. You can see me sat in an office. This office is in my house. In 2018, me and my husband decided that we wanted to buy a house. And at the time, we weren't financially really in a situation to buy our dream home. So we kind of started to think about what would be the perfect first home. And I went and brought a whiteboard, and that whiteboard is literally at my feet. And I drew the floor plan to this dream home that I wanted. And I said to my husband, this is what I'm looking for. We'd looked at loads of different houses. We've been online. I couldn't see anything that I liked. I was actually getting a bit disheartened. So I drew out this floor plan. And I remember I put it on the kitchen counter where just in my kitchen. And my husband's friend came around one day and he was like, what, is this your new house? And I laughed. I said, don't be ridiculous. It's just a drawing. It's not even a good drawing because I can't draw. All the lines was wonky. But it clearly said, this is where the kitchen is, this is where this is. Within a few days, I received a call from a estate agent who we'd come to see some properties a while before, but all of the properties of the size that we wanted had sold out. And she called and she said, we've got this property. It's a little bit bigger than what you had initially wanted, but I think that you'd be interested in it. And I was like, oh, no, that's too big. That's too big of a thing, which sounds ridiculous now. But I hung up the phone. I was like, yeah, no, we're not interested. Thank you, bye. Went downstairs, told my husband, and he said, don't be ridiculous, call back. So I called her back. We come down to the site, and the house hadn't been built yet. They were building the houses. And she took out the floor plan of what the house was going to look like. And I kid you not, the floor plan is the house that I am sitting in right now with one extra bedroom. I kid you not. My daughter's bedroom was in the same place. The bathroom was in the same place. The kitchen, the bit that completely blew my mind is the shape of the kitchen with a utility at the bottom and a toilet. Exactly how I'd drawn it. I went very cold. I said to my husband, please look at this. And funnily enough, I'd taken a picture of the whiteboard just randomly to have in my phone, kind of just to motivate me on my day-to-day goings on. So I showed the estate agent lady and she was like, that's the maddest thing I've ever seen. I'm living in that house now. That is the power of visualizing something and working towards it. Now, did I just draw the picture and get a house? No. In addition to the picture, what I did is I worked out how much money do we need. I made appointments with the mortgage advisor. We set up savings account. Like we did other things, like there was an action plan. But by me doing that, not only did I get the house that I'd drawn, I got an office because the office was a bonus. Like there was an extra room that I wasn't anticipating. So when I ask you to do this process, I want you to really believe and understand that it works. So that's my personal experience. And in terms of client experiences, I can give you loads of client experiences, but the favorite one I like to give, there's a company based in Nuneaton called Art Fabrications. You can Google them, they're on Instagram and they're also on YouTube. So if you don't believe me, go on YouTube and have a look for Art Fabrications, Coventry University Enterprises. I did a 3-year vision plan with them. And within 6 months of us doing that vision plan, 80% of that vision had been actualized. And the reason that that had happened is they'd been operational and just doing stuff with no clear plan. I gave them a clear plan and the actions that they needed to do. Then they realized, actually, instead of just faffing around on a day-to-day basis, let's focus on doing all of these things on the list. And the only things that had been outstanding within that 6-month period was stuff that was outside of their control. So it works. So I've given you the sales pitch. Let me tell you what you need to do. So question number 1, it is the year 2023. It's the 7th of August. What is your role or your title? So I'm going to give you like 2 minutes per question. I want you to really define what that is. So it could be founder, it could be a specific job role, whatever it is, write it down. And I want you to really, like, we are in the year 2023. So positive language as well. So not, I hope to be, I want to be. In 2023, my title is. So I'm going to give 2 minutes for you to write that down and to think about it. Right. Next question. I'm assuming everybody's finished. And if not, as long as you've got the questions, and I'll be sharing the slides afterwards. So if you don't get through it quick enough, you can do it at a later date. The next question, where are you based? So if it is a job, what location is it? If it's your own business, do you have an office? Where is it? And I want you to be really specific. So I assume that all of you are living in the Midlands, but be specific. So it could be Birmingham city centre, it could be Digbeth, it could be Coventry city centre, wherever it is, be very specific. And I'm not going to ask this question, but you might want to write it down so that you can do this later. I've asked you, where are you based? I want you to also describe, so you're not going to get time to do this now and you need to think about it. So just write it down. What does it look like? So if it's an office, if it's your office, describe what your office looks like. If it's an office that you're working at, still describe what it looks like, because I want you to really immerse yourself in the environment that you're going to be in. Okay, so the next question, what is the organization like? So if you're working for yourself, what kind of environment are you creating? What is this like? But if you're working for somebody else, the same thing. What is it like? What are the people like? What is the atmosphere like? What is kind of the ethos? And just a few descriptive words to help you with this. Supportive, friendly, cutting edge, innovative. I don't know if I just said supportive, so I'm just going to say it again. I did. Talk too much, forget what I said. Dynamic, fun. Forward thinking. Don't just write everything I say, by the way. Come up with your own, I'm just giving you some ideas. So I'm going to give you like another 2 minutes on this one, because this one's a little bit harder of a question. Okay, so the next question, my favorite question. How much are you earning per annum? And I just saw a smile peek out from somebody there. Now, whatever it is that you want to be earning per annum in 2023, I want you to add to that. So I don't know what your number is, but let's just say your number is 80 grand. I need you to add at least 20 grand to that. If it's 20 grand, then I need you to add 40 grand to it. I don't want nobody saying anything less than 30 at this point, is essentially what I'm saying. Because we've got 3 years, so we can make it happen. And not to disturb your process, but I remember doing this with a client a few years ago. And I said, how much do you want to be earning in 3 years? With not even him earning, how much do you want your business to be making? And he said 35 grand. Once I'd gone through the process and asked him the question again, he'd gone from 35 grand to $1 million. Now I think we're 2 years in, he's not at $1 million, but he's past 35 grand by far already. And this is why I say, whatever it is that you think that you want to make, add at least 20 grand, but ideally more if it's less than 20. And when you're thinking about this number, also think about the life that you want to lead. How much money do you need to live the life that you want? So I know for me, for example, I want to go on holiday at least 4 times a year. And it's just essential at this point. So I need a home in Jamaica. I need some sort of apartment or something in Nigeria. I then need 2 new places to go every year. If anybody has any property in Kenya, please do let me know, because that's on my wish list. So I need to earn a fair bit of money. Which then goes on to the next question. What are you doing on a daily basis? So I want you to write at least 8 things. And this is not what you're going to be doing every single day, but what are the types of things that you will be doing on a daily basis? So in my 3-year vision from now, what am I doing on a daily basis? I'm going on holiday. I'm going for lunches. I'm going to the spa. I have my personal shopper bringing me clothes to try on in my house because I don't want to go out and try things on in the shops. I'm eating. I'm occasionally meeting with clients, only the special ones though, like Oyen. I'm making money without having to do anything, really. That's the plan. Like, I want to still have a few select clients, but I just want to be making money without me having to do a whole load. So if I decide to just pick up and go on holiday for a month, I can. So think about, what do you want? And you don't have to be as extravagant as me. I'm just a bit high-chested like that. But think about your 2023 daily basis. It's so bad, I clearly forgot to say. Also, spending time with my family, of course. Missed that bit out, oops. Give you another minute. Nope. The next question, sorry, I pressed the button too quickly, but what is your reputation within the industry? So what are you known for? What do people say about you? So when I ask this question of myself, what is my reputation within the industry? I'm known as the boss. I'm known for getting results. I'm known for being supportive, firm, but caring, informed, knowledgeable. Right. So I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and it might backfire on me, but I'm going to ask anyway. Does anyone feel brave enough to read what they've written so far? I don't know how I would even know this because, well, I don't know. There's no hand. Is there a hand up feature? Oh, okay. But I can't see if anybody's hands up. Has anybody put their hand up?
Let me see. No one's putting their hands up yet.
Nobody brave. Oops.
Come on, guys. Come on, ladies. Come on.
Do we have to pick on someone?
Ooh, we may have to.
I love to pick
I didn't even know you was here, Charlene.
I came back. I couldn't miss it, Daniela, so I came back.
I'm on it.
You did tell Charlene to go rest, but
no one can tell me to rest. Emma, do we have Emma?
Yay.
Emma wanted to volunteer herself. Amazing. Amazing, Emma. Come on, Emma.
Fab. Right, Emma, read it back to us.
You're still on mute and I'm trying to unmute you.
So funny. Hi guys, the only reason I volunteered myself is because when nobody speaks in a group, I just always put myself forward. Like, I'm nervous to see what I wrote down. But hi Danielle.
Oh, it's Emma. I know Emma. Hi, Emma.
Danielle, aspire
look forward.
What you talking
yes, I'm just looking like, yes, I know Emma. Hi, Emma. Thank you for volunteering.
When nobody was saying anything, I can feel my heart racing like this.
Bless you. Thank
when
you.
nobody was raising their hand, I was like, go on, Emma, do it. So.
Okay, so tell me what you've got. So it's the year 2023. What is your role or your title?
Okay, I was speech to texting, so I'm going to try and make sure. It's 2023. My son Sovereign is 8 years old. I'm running business at 30,000 per month. I will be based at a computer and a phone. I will be free to travel anywhere in the world with the ability to homeschool his education and wherever Sovereign's education or opportunities take him as well. Per annum, I will be earning 360,000. On a daily basis, I'll be ensuring that all parts of the vision operations are running. I'll be in meetings. I'll be paid to speak. I'll be opening up my venues like Dime Studios remotely. I will be a mom. I'll be overseeing major parts of operations for companies, securing deals, writing bids, creating new visionary steps. My reputation in the industry is founder and CEO of 3 successful companies. They're not that successful right now, but they will be in 2023, okay?
That's what I love to hear.
Companies, trainer of celebrity vocals. I'll be stunningly beautiful, a legend, and an essential part of whatever I just want to be an essential part. That's
fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing. Right, the reason I asked you to share as well, because I wanted to make sure that I could provide some feedback so that other people can update theirs and make sure that they've done it in the way that it's supposed to be done. So that was really good, and you were very specific with certain areas. What I would suggest that you do is with the role or the title, be even more specific. So you said founder, but you said it in the end, but in the order, the name of the companies that you're the founder for. And then also, if you wanted to expand on that, what those companies do. So what products and services that you're offering. In terms of where you're based, if you're saying from your computer, I'm going to assume that's at home, yeah?
Yeah, or at a beach,
yeah,
or at a holiday somewhere.
So be specific. So say, I'm working in 3 different locations. Sometimes I'm at home, sometimes I'm at this specific beach or wherever it is. Be really specific so that it's not open to interpretation. I am at the beach working, and I'm also working from home. And when I'm working from home, I'm working in this specific space that looks specifically like this. Because even down to the decor. So what color is it could be where you're already working now, but it might be that you want to update a space within your home to become your home office. So I want that level of detail. But everything else was great. And then the next question, which I'm asking to everyone, first, before I even do that, if everybody takes a moment to read theirs back, and Emma, if you want to make those, thank you for contributing, if you want to make those few additions, and then I want everybody to read them back to themselves for a moment. So I'm going to give you a minute or two. So I'll give you a minute to finish writing and then another minute to read it back to yourself. Out loud. So not in your head. I want you to read it out loud. And I don't care if you feel shame because you're in the house reading out loud to yourself. Do it anyway.
Hello. Hello. Who am I speaking to?
And I know some of you are pretending to read it out loud, but you're not really. And you're not moving your mouth. Do you want this future or not? Because if you want it, you need to follow the process. So I need to see some lips moving.
For
And I know that you're hiding.
For accountability.
Sorry?
I was going to say, for accountability purposes, if you feel comfortable and you feel okay to be recorded, please can you switch on your videos so we can see that you're moving your mouths, please.
I see many mouths not moving.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of blank screens as well. Thank you, Panama. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Yay, I love it.
Hey, people.
Love to see the screens. Come on, bring it on. Any more people? Come on, Jamila. That's it. Come on. We need more screens. Any more screens? Thanks, Idman.
Get those lips moving and read it back a couple times. Loud.
Thanks, Lauren. Thank you, Ashas. Sorry if I've not said your name right. Ashas. Thank you.
Oh, this is emotional. I love to see it.
Thank you. Even if you're in your dressing gown, we understand. We understand.
No judgment zone.
No judgment here. Thanks, Jordell.
Right, read it through one last time. Right, so the next question that I want to ask yourself, you're in 2023, you know what your life is because we've just said it, we've just spoken it into existence. You're there now. And then the question that you need to ask yourself is, how do you feel? Close your eyes. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Close your eyes. Visualize what you just read out loud. So walk yourself through it. And then feel what that feels like to be living that future. So you're earning the money that you want to earn. You're doing the things on a daily basis that you wanted to do. You're working in the space that you wanted to work. You've got the title that you want. You've got this amazing reputation within your industry. How do you feel? Open your eyes. Does that feel good? I want to see a thumbs up if the feeling was happiness, of success, of contentment. And also, if you felt scared, you can also put a thumbs up. Does it feel scary? Because I know sometimes we have these big goals and these big dreams and it can scare us. And that's the thing, I want you to be scared. Being scared of this means it's something to be pushing for. You need to feel that fear and run towards it. Because again, I'm so terrible with phrases. What's that phrase where they say something about success is on the other side of your comfort zone or something? Is that the phrase? Did I get it right? I hope so.
I think so.
Oh, okay. And it's true. So I hope that it scared you. I hope that it made you feel happy. If it didn't make you feel happy, then I want you to question yourself why. Why didn't it make you feel happy? And maybe that means that it's not the right vision. Or it could be that it scared you so much that the fear was overriding the happiness. But if the vision didn't make you happy, then maybe you want to revisit and determine what will make you happy. And then the next question, what 3 skills do you need to acquire to be able to bring that vision to reality? And this doesn't have to be like specific tech-based skills. It could be confidence, it could be public speaking, it could be networking skills. But write 3. I'm just realizing that there's conversations in the chat. I love what everybody's written. Like I'm walking in what I was created to do. That is a powerful statement. Yeah, 2023 boldness. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, me too. Can have that boldness by 2020. We're not waiting to 2023 to be bold. We're being bold today. Right. So I assume you've all written your 3 skills. Now, this is something that I think is important to ask. What are the top 3 challenges that you think that you're going to face in trying to actualize this vision? And I think it's really, I ask it in a different way when I do it for my clients, but I think it's really important to consider the obstacles that you're going to face, because if you're able to identify them, then you're able to start planning of how you're going to get around them, and you're going to expect them. So take a minute or 2 to think about this, because this is probably the most important question of them all. So I don't. Wait. About the is who do you need to support you? So who do you need to support you to bring that vision to reality, so, and to overcome those challenges? Okay, so I hope that you've all worked your way through that. And that is my gift to you. There's your Vision 2023. Now, as I said, I don't want you to just finish this session and don't look at it again. I want you to really expand, ask your own questions. So you've started to think what 2023 looks like. There may be additional questions that I didn't ask that you want to add that's going to really help you bring that to reality. So spend some time with it, expand it, develop it, and then get it written, printed out, type it up, put it on your wall. And I want you to also really be clear on what those challenges are, and don't let those challenges stop you from pursuing this vision. And you define the vision. So as per my 5-step process, then what you also then need to do is work out what are the goals. So what's your 2020 goals, your 2021 goals, and your 2022 goals that you need to achieve to be able to set you on the track to bring this vision to reality? What are the strategies that you need to employ? And then what is your action plan? So what are the key tasks that you need to complete this year, next year, and the year after to be able to achieve those goals? Relate the actions to the goals, not the vision, because the goals are related to the vision. So then the strategies and the actions are related to the goals. If you do the goals, and the vision is going to be a reality. And then make sure that their time, as I said, I'm going to drill it into your heads. Make sure that you set deadlines, not necessarily for next year and the year after, but for this year, for the next 12 months, make sure that you put deadlines for your actions so that you know what each month you're going to be working on to be able to start bringing this vision to reality. So, dealing with roadblocks. I told you one of the positive stories. Now I'm going to tell you one of the negative stories, because as I said, just because you put together a vision doesn't mean it's going to come to reality, but don't let that stop you. I had a very clear vision. So in terms of a background, my business now is She's the Boss, but I've had 2 businesses prior to that. My first business was called Aspire For You, which Emma alluded to before. I was running that business. I started it unofficially in 2006 and registered as a community interest company in 2008. And from 2008 to around 2012, I grew the business to 8 members of staff. From we started up until around 2013, I was able to secure lots of funding for the business, ran loads of different youth and community projects, organized a variety of different corporate events, and was essentially living my best life. Life was great. I had a very specific vision that was, in my eyes, related to my purpose. My purpose was to help young people. I now realize that my purpose is actually just to help people generally, not necessarily young people. And in 2015, I had to sell my business. And I didn't want to sell the business. I was in a position that I wanted to get investment. I had investment secured to enable me to kind of grow the business. I'd gone from 8 members of staff to 1 member of staff because funding streams closed and I wasn't able to kind of stabilize the commercial side of the business. And my investment got pulled at the last minute. I was pregnant, about to have my daughter, and the investor said, come back in 6 months and hit the specific sales target and we'll give you the money. So they didn't say we're not giving you at all. They just said, come back in 6 months. I knew I wasn't going to be able to come back in 6 months. So I sold the business. Now, I sold the business and thought that my world was ending. Like, luckily I had a baby and I started my MBA pretty much immediately after. So I had a point of focus, but I kind of felt lost, like I was just blowing in the wind because my vision for my life was centered solely on that business. So at the beginning of this session, I said, you need to start thinking about what your purpose is. Now, for me, I felt that that was my purpose, and because I've not been really clear, I hadn't really given it much thought, if I'm honest. I'm just like, okay, this is what I do, and this is where I'm trying to get to. And also, I didn't really have an action plan. So the reason I've developed, one of the reasons I developed this 5-step process is because I started to look at where did I go wrong in that process. And where I went wrong is I had the kind of vision, I could see it, but I didn't have the strategies, I didn't have the goals, and I didn't have the action plans to enable me to actualize it. And therefore, when I lost the business, I felt like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been able to start a new business, and actually, by being very systematic with how I move forward and by having goals and action plans and etc. Although I'm not employing 8 members of staff, but that's because I don't want to employ anybody ever again because it was very stressful. My business is doing way better now than my previous business ever did, like at all. And my life is substantially better. I thought I was living my best life then, other than the fact that I'm a mom, so I can't just jump up and go to parties like I used to. I'm living my absolute best life now. Like, I'm happy, I'm fulfilled. I realized that my purpose, and this is a really important thing, don't align your, I read this the other day actually, it's so important. Don't align your purpose to a job, align it to your mission. So what are you here to do? So I have realized what I'm here to do is to help people live their best lives, to bring their visions or help them create their visions and live it. I initially was doing it with young people, and now I'm doing it with primarily women in business. So something went wrong and I felt depressed. I went for a period of grieving for this business, but actually when I look back, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And sometimes, and I think this is really important because we've done these visions and you're invested in them, but some of them are not going to come to reality. Does that mean that your life is going to be rubbish? No, it absolutely doesn't, because my original vision didn't come to fruition. Now I have an even better vision. And actually, because of what happened with that first business, it means that I am able to be much better and have experience with this business. So when I'm going out to clients and saying, hire me to be your business coach or consultant, I'm able to say, actually, I ran a business and these are the things that went wrong. So there's not really many things in your business that could go wrong that I can't relate to. Had that not happened with my business, I wouldn't be in that situation. And people hire me on the back of that. So when you hit those roadblocks, although it may seem like, oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? Like, this is over. That was my vision. If you don't hit some sort of obstacles, there's no real success at the end. Because in order to maximize kind of your life, you need to be able to come over obstacles. You need to build resilience. You need to know what can go wrong so that you know how to make things go right. And your Vision 2023 is only for a finite period. If you do Vision 2026, Vision 2030, which sounds insane, but really it's 10 years away. If you do that, if your Vision 2023 doesn't come to fruition, that doesn't mean that your Vision 2030 isn't going to come to fruition. Because actually, when I sit back and consider what my vision was, like my 5 and 10 year visions for my life, when I was running my first business, I'm actually kind of living that now. I don't have the chef that I wanted, but that's going to come fairly shortly. But I'm living that life. And the business isn't the business that I imagined and affording me the life that I'm living now, but I'm happy and I'm productive and I'm doing the things that I want to do. So don't let roadblocks and obstacles, and that's why I asked you to ask that question, what are the 3 challenges? Because sometimes the challenges can come towards us and now it's the end of the world. But actually, if you can identify them, if you can be prepared for them, and also if you can be informed and understanding of the fact that, okay, this challenge has knocked me off course, but it's preparing me for a different course that may be actually more suited for me, and even more beneficial. Like, I don't know at this age if I would have ever been that helpful to support young people. Like, I'm older now. Like, when I was running that business, I was still young, so I was still a bit down with the kids. I'm not down with the kids anymore, like, at all. So actually, I've moved into a new phase of my life with a new phase of people, and that works. And the kind of message that I always give to people, or to clients that I work with, and I've said it in a few kind of talks that I've done, who wants to read the book of your life if everything went smoothly? That sounds like a pretty boring book, and I personally wouldn't be buying a book. I never have bought a book of someone just saying, I decided I wanted to do this, and then I went for it, and then life was great, and I've lived happily ever after. Who's watching that movie? That is a dry film. So when the obstacles hit, think of that. Like, this is part of the story of my life. This is what someone's going to pay me to speak about. I get paid to speak about all of the dramas that have occurred in my life. No one's not paying me if those things didn't happen. So I just want you to really think about that as well, and keep that within you, so that when you do inevitably face challenges, you're not thinking, okay, that girl was crazy. She said I could make this vision a reality, and now look what's happened. No, it's preparing you for an even bigger, a bigger success. I don't know if that sentence was grammatically correct, but you get my point. And that's it.
Thank you so much.
I realised I've gone right up to the time. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much, Daniella.
Oh, no worries. I enjoyed it.
I believe someone has some, I believe Desiree had a question. Desiree, do you want to just voice your question to Daniella?
Yes, I have a question. Hello, thank you
Hi.
for the presentation. So I have a question. So what happens, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so I have a question. So what happens if you kind of lose motivation or don't stay consistent in doing the things in order to get to the goals that you set for yourself? So what if I, for example, something comes up and I don't do something for like a day or for a week? Like, how do I motivate myself to get back on track?
You need to really sit and immerse yourself back in the vision. This is why I say don't leave it on a computer in a book, put it on the wall. So when you are feeling demotivated, you go back, you read through it. If you, and this is where I do also agree with then creating vision boards. So for example, if for Emma's one, I would have a picture of a beach next to that vision. I'd have a picture of a plane. So actually visualizing it, but also using the images, go back and really in that and remind yourself, because actually you can be off for a day, you can be off for a week, you can even be off for a month, but you need to get back, because if you don't get back, this vision is moving further and further away. Something that I always used to say as well is picture the alternative. So we pictured what success looks like with the vision, picture what failure looks like. So what happens if I don't achieve this vision? What does my life, and not just this vision, but what happens if I really just do stop and I remain demotivated? What does my life look like? Map that out. Because you can take off a day, you can take off a week, you can take off a month, you can take off a year, but then what happens? We don't move forward and you stay static. And do you want to stay in that position? And that is what I would always suggest to do. So go back to the vision, but also then look at what's the alternative and snap out of it. Use that to snap out of it.
Okay, thank you very much. That makes sense. Thank you.
Also, we probably have time for one more question. Does anyone else have any questions for Daniella?
Okay, while we're thinking of questions, or not, if you could please go onto Instagram. My Instagram got hacked last week. It says at She's the Boss INTL on this screen, but it's actually now at She's the Boss UK. So if you wouldn't mind just heading over to Instagram and giving me a follow so that I can start to get my numbers back up, because some crazy hacker decided that I shouldn't have my 2,000 plus followers anymore. So I'm now back to 300 and something.
I have a question. You mentioned that you're a mum. How did you balance motherhood with actualizing your vision, and was it a challenge for you?
It's a daily challenge. It's a daily challenge, and Owen will know, because yeah, I'm quite open and honest with it. I love being a mom, but trying to juggle motherhood and big dreams is difficult. I'm not one of these people that, oh, it's easy, we can have it all. And I find it quite offensive when people say that, because actually it is a fine line. So today, for example, I wanted to put the finishing touches to this presentation. My daughter came back, she was at camp today. She came back and she wanted to play outside, and she wanted me to play with her, like immediately. And I'm looking at the time and I'm looking at her face, and I'm like, I have to go and play with her because she's upset and I feel bad. So I went and played with her, and then I raced against time to make sure that I looked decent on the screen and that the rest of the presentation was done. So it's not an easy thing, and something always does have to give. But for me, so when I said before about I'm really anal with my to-do list and my time blocking, that's the reason why. Because if there's no processes in place and there's no system in place for working, you can kind of just get lost in the mix. And particularly like during this COVID time, there's been a few times where I've kind of dropped off with what I need to do, and it's because I've not been as disciplined. But obviously this is a unique situation, so I'm not really holding myself accountable for that. But generally, I will make sure that everything is mapped out down to the basic things. So previously, you could look on my to-do list and it would say like an hour slot, watch a film with my daughter, go to Asda, call the dentist, review somebody's business plan, update social media, cook dinner, have a rest, do some yoga. Like that's how deep I have to break down the day, because otherwise I can get lost in work and not make time for myself, not make time for my daughter, or make too much time for myself and spend all day with my daughter and nothing gets done. So it's really, for me, it's about my time management more than anything. It's really difficult. It's like at the beginning of lockdown, for example, she wasn't sleeping, and she was like, she'd be up at 7. So I'd wake up and she's already awake, and then she wouldn't go to sleep at all. So I would want to go to sleep at like 11. She'd be up until 1 o'clock. I'm half asleep. She's there. I couldn't work in the evenings because she was there. I couldn't work in the mornings because I cannot wake up before 7. Like I refuse. I'm not a morning person. It was really tough. But also I think as mothers, sometimes we can be mothers in business or mothers that are like trying to pursue careers, we can be tough on ourselves, but actually there's no point. Like there's really no point. So sometimes you have to just say, I can't do everything, so today I'm just going to have to be a mom, and at some point we'll get back to work. And that's just the way that it has to go sometimes. So I'd say definitely be gentle with yourself, but plan and use, if you can, if you've got people around, utilize the people around you. Unfortunately, I don't have that many people around me to help, but the people that I do have, I milk them for every minute, which reminds me I need to message my friend to ask if she can do 2 babysitting things this month. So yeah, that's what I would say for that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Daniella, please do just kind of post it on the Slack channel, and I would forward it to her, and she'll be able to answer it, and I'll send her answers back to you. But one of the things I like to give people challenges and accountability things. One of the things I would challenge you all to do, if you feel comfortable, that's if you feel comfortable, to share your Vision 2023 with your cohort. You know, why not put it on the Slack channel and ask them to keep you accountable for it, if you feel comfortable. Or if you don't feel comfortable sharing your cohort, Why not share it with your dearest and nearest, your friends, your family, so that they can actually also keep you accountable? Because actually it's one thing for us to write it down and print it out and put it in our wall, put it in our folders, but it's another thing when your best friend or your mom or your dad was to be like, you said by January 2023 you were going to be in this job. What have you done about that? You said you're going to be in this job by January 2023. It's now September 2022, but you're still not anywhere near that job. What are you doing about it? So I would encourage everyone to do something like that, because accountability helps a lot with our goals. Thank you so much, Daniella, for giving and serving us tonight. We really, really appreciate you. Can we just give Daniella some virtual claps, please? I just want to see those claps. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Daniella. I'm just going to do a poll quickly just to see how you guys have found today. I found the first empowerment day. I'm sure well, I found it amazing, you know, but I would like to kind of hear your feedback. So please do take part in the poll. I've just launched it.
Oh, this is stress. Shall I log off? I don't want to see people saying
Go
it's
ahead,
unhelpful.
go ahead. You can log off.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Seeing loads of people putting the answers in. Awesome. Awesome. We've had 28 people in already. 29 people in. Awesome. Thank you so much. Amazing. So thank you everyone that has voted. Everyone's voted. Really, really appreciate you. Hopefully see you at see you at your next cohort and see you at the next empowerment day. The next empowerment day would be what it, you know, a day in the life of a front-end developer. So as I said, you can sign up on Eventbrite and so on and so forth. Now you guys can have your Friday back. So go ahead, go and do anything that you want to do. Spend time with family, go out, or whatever you want to do. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody, and speak soon. Bye, guys.
That was wonderful. I loved it. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.